Director of Research at the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research. I'm the Head of Department of Microbiology, and I'm also the Chairman of ACTU-NIMR. The CAMP project, Canada-Africa Monkeypox Partnership, is a project that is focused on monkeypox for us to understand more about the virus. The virus has been with us for so long in Nigeria. In Africa since 1970. We had cases, we just had a few cases between 1971 when it was reported in Nigeria, and then in 2017 we had an outbreak. And after that, 2022, we now had this outbreak, and they've now found the virus in the developed world. They discovered that the strain that they found in the developed world was from the strain the clade 2 from Nigeria that had moved to the developed world, and there it was like ravaging them. So many people were getting infected, some were dying, and it was so widely spread. So in Nigeria, before that time, we had cases. I'm sure we probably had more cases because we're not testing. And then sometimes the symptoms, the rashes, sometimes could be confusing. They probably may think it is measles or some other infections, you know. So they now found that even in the developed world, there were a number of people who were immunocompromised, HIV patients, a good number of, in fact, the prevalence of HIV amongst monkeypox patients is really high compared to the prevalence of HIV in people who do not have monkeypox. So there is an association, which is one of the things we want to find out in our own environment. We had never really associated monkeypox with sex in Nigeria all along. We just said it has to be close contact, except you touch the lesion, it touches you before you can get infected. But we now found out that there were people who were getting infected without any contact with an infected case. Are you with me? They didn't get in touch with any lesion, and yet they are infected. So what's happening? It's like as we're asking more questions, we are finding out some more. And so now we decided, okay, that let's, with this call that was advertised, you know, the Canada-Africa Monkeypox project, there was this call that was advertised last year, and we now decided, okay, let's try see what we can do to be able to unravel the many things that we do not know about this virus. And the major limitation that we have had in Nigeria and in Africa is the fact that we don't have the diagnostics. We cannot diagnose it. Even if somebody has a rash, we cannot really say it's monkeypox because we don't get to test them. And even for NCDC, it's only when they report maybe to the International World WHO that they will send kits to them to test, you know. But fortunately for us, some of our scientists had been trained on how to develop assays for emerging and re-emerging diseases. So with that knowledge, that was how we developed the kits for COVID-19, we developed for Lassa, we developed for yellow fever. And so with monkeypox also coming out, we now developed the kit for the monkeypox.
I want to commend you for this laudable gesture and to say, as we unveil this product, we shall use it effectively to the glory of God and for the good of mankind. And certainly this product will generate a lot of revenue for your institute.
are now going to use that kit that NIMR developed for this project. So all of the cases that we are saying we're going to be working with Nigerian Infectious Disease Society, we work in high-risk clinics, we'll go, even our own clinic here, we're going to go to the community of HIV patients. We're going to get samples from them to test, because we have a kit. If we are to buy those kits, the funds we have will not be able to carry out that project. But because we have home grown kits here, that's why we are embarking on this ambitious project. Unfortunately for us, we have collaborators. If you heard from the beginning, we have, it's a Canada-Africa partnership. We actually wanted to collaborate with other African countries, Rwanda, Ghana, and stuff like that. But somehow they backed out. Fortunately, well, some of them backed out. But fortunately, at the end of the day, we got this grant. We are the only ones in Africa. However, in Nigeria, we have other partners that we came together, you know, to put up this proposal. Like the University of Ilorin, the guy that is partnering with us, Dr. Audu, he was our VHF scholar, the viral hemorrhagic fever scholar, the extramural grant that we gave to him for his PhD, that he has completed. And he has even had one of his master's students come to do some work. That one worked on bats, and he has also completed that work. And so this opportunity came. We called on him because we are also thinking that the animals, there must be some relationship. It's a zoonotic infection. Monkeypox is a zoonotic infection, meaning it's from animals that people get infected. But in fact, there is another school of thought that humans are also infecting animals. So this study we're going to do, we're going to be checking all of that. Okay, so we will go to the homes of those who are positive, who are tested positive, find out if they do have pets, they have animals, chicken, dogs, and all of that. We'll collect samples from them to check. We will now go to the lab to check to see if there is a relationship between what we are finding in humans and in the animals, and then we'll be able to tell who is transmitting to the other, you know. So it's quite interesting. So that's how we brought him. We had been working with him in NIMR. Then we have IHVN, and IHVN, they have this HIV program that they support. They are an implementing partner for HIV. So they also were going to apply, but because we wanted a big consortium, the funders wanted us to merge so we have just one big consortium. They joined our team, and so their own component, which is to go to the clinics to get people, that are infected to join. They are going to screen suspected, confirmed cases to bring on board. So that's how we merged with them. And then also we have the slum, the other group. They work in the community. It was in this forming a big consortium that we met, and in fact, for us to even get to meet the Canadian team is through our partners in Institute Pasteur Dakar. We have a working relationship with Institute Pasteur Dakar since 2017, and there's a current grant we're running with them on viral hemorrhagic fever, where we're looking for vector-borne diseases, diseases that mosquitoes carry, like the yellow fever, dengue fever, chikungunya, Rift Valley. We are working with them. So they were the ones that even drew our attention that, look, there is this call. We said, oh, but we don't know anybody in Canada. And they linked us up with their own partner. And eventually they dropped out because they don't have cases in Senegal. And we stayed, so it was quite interesting, coming together to form a consortium like this. This is the first large consortium, international consortium that I am actually working on, and I happen to be the lead